Uh, okay, this is Phil Simborg for the U.S. Backgammon Federation, and my guest with me today is Stick. And we're going to start out today by looking at early game checker play. Most of the good players of the world have spent a lot of time studying first and second roll moves and memorizing them, but by the time you get to the third roll, you have to start using your noggin. You have to start understanding what the right play is and why. And I must tell you, it's not always easy, but trying to figure out why is one of the most important things. And so often, I don't know why in some of these plays, and I turn to the biggest degenerate that I know, who spends hours and hours studying this stuff, and so Stick always comes up with the answer. But here's one that a couple of really top players, including myself — I won't call myself a top player — a couple of top players and me really screwed up recently. And this is a normal match score. Let's call it a money game. And let's say we're red and we roll a 4-2, and our opponent rolls a 4-2, and then we roll a double 2. So give it a little bit of thought and think about how you would play it, and let's hear how Stick would play it and figure out why. Give you a couple seconds to think about what you would do here. All right. You want me to hit the button, Stick? Let's see what it's
Sure,
right.
go ahead and hit the magic. Yeah.
Yeah. The magic button says to make the opponent's 5-point, and almost all of us instinctively played 24-22 and 13-11. So, Stick, what's going on here? Why is this a better play?
Okay. Well, anyone who knows me knows my disdain for the 22-point anchor already. So that's, for me, it would have been a little bit easier just because, in general, I hate that anchor. With early game double twos, the most important part usually of the double twos, assuming we're not hitting, is to play 6-4-2. Now, we've already done, we've already made our 4-point here, so that part of the play is out. So really, we're going to at least move the back checkers some. That should be the first thing on your list, because we're not just going to do something silly like make the 9-point and work on only one side of the board. So we're at least going to move our back checkers up to the 22-point. After you move them up there, then we need to decide between continuing to the 20-point or coming down 13-11 with 2 of them. At this stage in the game, or at any stage of the game, I guess, there are really 3 big options for how you're going to win a game: priming, attacking, racing. And the same holds true for your opponent. The biggest part that attracts me coming all the way up to the 20-point is you really take away anything for your opponent, really. All of those game plans are really pretty much out the window except racing if he can get into a race. And they also leave all the opportunities available for you. No longer can you really be primed at all. Not that you really can much on the 22-point, but it's still a hassle to break away. And when you do try and break away from the 22-point, you're more likely to get attacked. You're able to race much easier now. You have a lot more freedom to get off the 20-point. And your own attack and your own prime, you're a lot more free to play with because you're anchored up on the 20-point. Basically, your opponent's going to have to split the next turn, and if they don't find something good to split with, obviously you're just going to play 2 guys down off the mid, and they're going to be in really bad shape. It's not that the 11-point isn't nice or the 11-point isn't worth anything. It's just the strength of the 20-point over the 11-point.
See, that's what threw me off so much. Having those 2 checkers on the 11-point, let's take a look at what it would look like. Giving you the good 6-1, the good 6-4, and the good 4-1, and all these good numbers that you can use this for on this side of the board just seems so attractive that even I would have thought it would at least be close, and it's not even close.
I could ask everyone what their old favorite DMP play is. I don't know if that would help people here or not. But again, at DMP, you get ahead in the race and you race, and here you're even up a little bit, and it's just, again, it stands out as a DMP play to me. So if you ever know the DMP play over the board at a normal score and it's clear, it's usually the right play for money too.
Gotcha. Double 2 has plagued me for years. I think it's the toughest roll. In fact, I even wrote an article on Game & Village years ago with like 12 double 2 plays that were just very, very tough. But take the same opening roll where you roll a 4-2, and your opponent, instead of him rolling a 4-2, let's say he rolls a 6-4. How do you play a double 2 now? Same way, or do you do something else?
Now it's probably the other play.
It's the other play by a lot. And tell me what's going on. Why isn't everything you said applied to this play as well? Wouldn't you like to be on his 5-point, be able to race and all that?
Well, the race did get worse, first of all. His priming chances also got worse because his formation is not for a priming game. The deeper the anchor goes, the more valuable any anchor of yours is. So, your 22-point anchor is more valuable now just because he doesn't have that point in front of you. He can never really prime you. He's got, his men are pushed behind you. And also, you're more playing a priming game here just because his forward position is so bad. You want to get into a priming game against his type of game plan, which really, after you move up and down, is going to be trying to find a way to run.
Okay, so you can see there is a lot more than meets the eye in these plays. There's a lot more logic and reasoning that goes into it, and it takes study. And if you're one of these people that has memorized all the first and second roll moves, if you haven't gone to the second stage of knowing why the first and second roll moves are right, you're more likely to start missing on the third and fourth roll. And by the way, I've got a new lesson plan that I've been giving out quite a bit, which is really third and fourth and fifth roll moves, because I think this is one of the toughest parts of the game. We've memorized the first and second roll move, and when we get later into the game, it becomes pretty clear, usually pretty clear, of what our game plan is. We know we can't race. We're way behind in the race. Or we know we can't prime because his checkers are gone. We can usually rule out one of the game plans, and then we only have to decide between two. So our choices become a little bit more clear, I think, when the game becomes more mature. But right here, these are sort of turning points where you're really torn between playing a racing, priming, or hitting game and not sure what to do. So if you learn anything today, it is that you do need to study this. I don't care what your level of play. I won't name names, but I'm talking about people who are giant level players that got this initial play wrong. And so no matter how good you think you are, there's a lot more study that needs to be done here. Thanks a lot for your help, Stick. I'm going to do several videos with Stick and other people that help me as guest commentators on the USBGF forum. And thanks for watching.